I love doing service work. I always try to keep a good attitude. You can see right here we've got obviously there's some oil there. I'm guessing this connection, this flare, is bad, is leaking. I just put my adapter and hose on, and you can see we're running in a deep vacuum on this Durastar 2021 Minisplit. Now I'm happy to do the service work, and I should always be grateful for the work, but let me just show you what we've got here. So they had a different company come and install 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mini splits just on this side of the building. And I have a list of like 4 or 5 different ones that I have to go look at, see what's wrong with them, and fix the leaks. But sometimes I wonder, why don't they have the company that sold them the 20 or 25 mini splits come back and find all the leaks on their stuff and fix all the leaks on their stuff. Again, I don't mind doing it, but also it'd be kind of nice if we got some of the install work as well as the service work. But oh well, I don't know, maybe that's just a sentiment that I have and not a sentiment that other people have. Like I said, I need to be grateful because it is just service work, and I can't whine or complain, and I actually am grateful for it. So if you look right there, you can see that fitting. That fitting right there is definitely leaking. The system is practically out of refrigerant. I'm sure there's no liquid in there. So we'll try loosening it and then retightening it a couple of times and see if we can get the leak to go away. If we can, then we'll just add refrigerant to the system, and it'll probably take care of it. If we can't get it to stop leaking, though, we'll have to take the flare, recut it, reflare it. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're gonna have to reflare it. See how when I tighten it down, still just bubbling like crazy. Yep, that flare is gonna have to be redone. There's no fixing that flare. It must be really bad. It's too bad. Like I said, there's only like a few pounds of pressure in here, so we're just gonna vent it off. Sorry, EPA, but even if I use my recovery machine right now, I wouldn't even get enough out of the system to fill the recovery machine and get any into the recovery cylinder. Okay, let's check out the quality of flare that we have here. What a joke. Look at that. That is a really, really bad flare. I think that's a new... I mean, I've made some pretty bad flares in my day, but I always cut them off and start over if they're bad. So nice. There's 4 of these connections on every single one of these, like 30-ish units. So hopefully this is just a one-off thing, and the guy installing them actually did a really good job on most of the flares. But you know how much of a pain in the butt it is to take apart the unit and like find the flare fittings up in there or behind the wall. And it's true that this flare actually might have straightened out a little bit as I tighten the nut on it. But in any case, in its current state, clearly not doing any good. We're going to have to flare it back. Hopefully there's enough flex here, there should be, that we can redo it and get it put back on nicely. First we cut the fitting off. Get rid of that ugly thing. And like I said, I think that did actually straighten out after we tried tightening it more. Put the nut back on. Deburr this. Make sure no flakes get up into the pipe. Now we'll take our flaring tool, put it on the 1/4 inch setting with about an 1/8 inch sticking out. And we'll clamp this down. That seems good. Then we'll take our flare tool, slide that on. Clamp it on, and then run the handle in to actually make the new flare. And then I run it in and out a few times to polish the face and make sure it's flared out really flat and tight against the tool. I don't know if I like flare as much as braze. Kind of wish these just had braze connections. I think braze is actually a little bit better. Flare is cool though. I like flare. It'd be really annoying if they came with like ProPress or something. That stuff I'm really suspicious of, personally. There's actually a little crack in this flare fitting, which I don't love. See right there, we have just a slight stress crack. We're just gonna redo it. I think I would feel more comfortable with it redone, but I'm just gonna do the same process over again and we'll see what it looks like. Look at that flare. It's just perfect. It's so beautiful. Way better than the other one. But unfortunately, I just realized this. Look what's right here. I forgot to put the flare nut on. So I'm gonna have to do it a third time. We're gonna have like an evolution of flare fittings. Look down inside here, there's like a little ring of copper in there. I'm glad I noticed that. I'll have to get that picked out, but when we tighten down the flare fitting, or when they tighten down the flare fitting, one of the two, it broke the flare off, and that's probably why it was leaking. That's why the torque specs actually do technically matter. There we go. No crack. Looks good. Beautiful. We're gonna attach it. Now, you guys gotta use a little of this Nylog. Sort of a sealant and lubricant. Just put a little dab of that on there. And then we can thread this back on and tighten it down. Now when you tighten these flare fittings on, according to most manuals, you're supposed to go tight and then loosen it off and then go tight your final amount. And I really should be using a crow's foot with a torque wrench, but today I'm just guessing. Alright, so we're pressured up with dry nitrogen. We will now check for leaks with soap. And then we'll have to pull a vacuum on it and charge it back up according to factory charge. So I'll just watch it for a while here and make sure that we're not leaking anywhere on these fittings, and then we should be good. So I am confident that whenever this original flare was installed, it was not this bad. When I tightened it down to just see if we could get it to stop leaking, that's probably when this little ring of copper got cut off. Either way, they didn't have a good connection there. Maybe it had a crack in it, similar to this one that we rejected. You really do want them to have a nice smooth surface, just like this. Be good and clean and not crackly. For some reason, that it's almost like that first inch or so is like work hardened. I don't know, but in any case, I think we've got it done now. And this was stuck in that nut, as I showed earlier, so watch out for anything like that, because you wouldn't want to leave that in there and then tighten that down onto your new one. Based on how this cover looks, it kind of looks like that leak actually catastrophically opened up. But anyway, I'm going to add in the factory charge of however many ounces. 68.8 ounces, 410A. Okay, so we're adding in. We've got a pound, 11 ounces in. You can see I'm just adding like a 1/4 ounce every couple seconds or so. You don't want to add too quickly. You want it to be all a vapor, turning to a vapor in the hose and as it's coming in, because if you let a bunch of liquid refrigerant in, it can actually damage the compressor. And I think since these things are heat pumps, they actually have like an accumulator and stuff, but I can't say that for sure on all models. So whenever adding refrigerant in on the low side, you have to add it very carefully. And you can't really add in on the high side because the pressure's too high. And with these running and cooling, this port is always going to be your low side port. So you'll just hook up to this. You can see this one doesn't even have a port. So once we get our full factory charge in, we'll be good to go. Alright, so the whole factory charge, 4 pounds, 4 ounces basically. We're running right under 40, so that looks good. So we'll go ahead and disconnect the hose and the adapter. And if you get one of these adapters, you got to make sure that you get one that has a Schrader core depressor in it, so that when you put your hose on, that Schrader core stem pushes on this one that's actually in here. So I'll try to link in the description to one of those. And just like that, we're back up and running. Injecting a little bit of heat. That's good. Coil actually looks really nice and clean on it, so no concerns there. I think we're gonna be good to go on that one. Something I like to do when I'm working on a unit that's in a long line units like this is I take the thermostat, I set it to what I want, and then I put it in the window so that when I walk on the outside I can look in, see what the thermostat is reading, and know that it's the unit that I'm supposed to work on. Nice cool air kicking out. So it looks like we're going to be good to go.